aka Discovery from 3-Second Rule, Mysteries Wingman. For many, many, many years, have taught hundreds and hundreds of boot camps and thousands of guys how to find, win, and keep beautiful women. I've had a good journey. It's been good to me. It wasn't good in the start. It was painful. But now, different person, different lifestyle, and all I can do is hopefully share some wisdom and expertise. I'll call it my lie because it's good for me. Doesn't mean to say it's right for you. I'm an ex-professional trainer, international level. So what I bring a little bit of wisdom is how to learn. So I'm going to basically take the pain out of your game and learning the game and make it easier for you to get into the journey and get the skill sets you want. Why? So you can lock the skill sets down and get on with living and not get caught up in the game too long. That has ruined your friggin' life. Okay, and it does happen to a lot of guys. So tonight we're talking about approach anxiety. And what I will do, probably go through about 20 minutes, guys, when everybody jumps on. And what we'll then do is we'll have the opportunity of a quick Q&A. So if you've got some questions, smack the screen, people. This is just great bows. Show them love, man. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, that just tells we're on point. Otherwise, I'm just speaking to a blank screen and stare at myself. And, you know, I'd rather be staring at women than staring at myself, to be honest. So appreciate the love and the hearts. The currency is what makes this happen, and the hearts in Periscope are the currency. So if you've got any questions, if you jump in, I might ignore them initially. I'll try and lose, you know, my mind is like a mosquito in a nudist camp. It goes all over. So if you distract me, it'll be hard to get back. So sometimes I'll write down your question and I'll come back to it later in the Q&A, if that's okay with you guys. This is a live interactive training. I am not doing, actually this one, just something simple. Zara, cool sweater, Shirley, sweater. I've never heard that. It's Americanized sweater. We call them a jumper. I have my other one. I like that. My little S. There you go. Simple things with the subtle little touches, with some nice skinny black jeans and a brown boots and a little brown hat on. Game done. Don't distract them. There you go. He knows it. Don't distract the man. So this is for you guys. I'm warts and all here. I will share stories of Mystery and I and our adventures. I'll get embarrassing, okay? Forgive the unprofessional style because it's the way I like it. And I want to be here for you guys. My goal, I got the results. I've had my journey. I love my life right now. Everything is good. Everything is really good. But it was never always good. I'm not going to go into my story again. I'll go back to it every few times. We're doing this for the next 7 days. So my goal is to help 100,000 men learn not just how to get the one, but to get the skills so they can do it time and time again. Because the reality is, 2 rules in life: you're either going to get blown or blown out or blown off. Okay? But it all comes to an end. Everything comes to an end, right? Hi from Austria, Österreich. Everything comes to an end, and most relationships will come to an end. I'm not interested in just helping you get the girl. What I want you to do is know how to acquire your own fishing nets, know where to fish, how to fish, the pitfalls of fishing in different streams, i.e. different styles of game. I have many different styles of game, and I've practiced most of them, and I've made them all work. Because the one thing I learned from Mystery in the early days, it's not the game, it's how you play it. Right? You like that one, right? It's not the game, it's how you play it. Whatever sport you choose, it's how you play it. That's how you work with it. A lot of guys jump around looking for the next fix or the next boot camp or the next master that they'll connect with. But remember, a lot of times when guys are learning the game, the instructors and coaches, what they're doing, sometimes making the mistake of trying to tell the guys what they're doing in the moment. And bear with me on this. And you've got to, if you're a coach, be really careful of this. It's like you've got all this new knowledge in your head and you want to impart it on the guys. Now, let's say the guy's just getting started. I am playing Happily Married. Good for you, man. Absolutely awesome. Hope to be there very soon one day myself. And I'll still be playing social game and helping other guys. So, and there you go, I'm distracted again. There you go, I'm distracted. Where the fuck was I? I lose my mind so quickly. So, where was I? I've just blanked. What were we talking about? Remind me. Somebody doesn't remind me, I'm going to go to the next bit. Snip and stack, snip and stack. What does he say? Okay, so Alex, what the fuck will we talk about?
Approaching anxiety.
Oh, is that all you've got to say? Now we're distracted. Okay, well that wasn't very much help. Not the game, it's how you play it. Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to snip this in, and we're going to digress a few times. But a lot of, and especially if you're learning, be very, very careful when people are talking about, let's say they're talking about microcalibration. Well, imagine you went to Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm just using his name as a professional bodybuilder, and you asked him, hey dude, what are you doing to stay so ripped and so strong and so muscly and, and carry your posture so well? And he says, well, you know what I'm on? I'm on kale 3 times a day. You lied. Kale 3 times a day, carrots and juices 4 times a day, but put it all together. And you're like, wow, yeah, I've got to do that too. And the reality is that's good for him for where he is now. And some instructors forget that because you've got to really think about where the guy is starting. Now, for instance, if the guy is starting out and he's a skinny guy, okay, and he hasn't got much muscle, Arnold Schwarzenegger's advice needs to be, dude, you just need to be on meat and 2 vegetables a day and get down the gym 5 days a week. That's all you need to do is the basics. A lot of people lose sight of that. And what happens is people make it overcomplicated. So then a guy has the energy fix of a boot camp or a training or a miniature training like this. They're on a high, they want to go do it. And as that high drops off because they don't have the skills or they don't have an action plan of what to do with those skills, to how to get them, when you get crazy people like that, what you do is just block the user. And if you see comments like that, guys, everybody just block them, So, you want to help the guys get into it with the basic skills that they need. And if you're starting off, try not to bounce around. If you're choosing Ross Jeffries, speed seduction, okay, it's a bit technical, but it's got great results if you stick with it. I'll throw bacon at you. Okay, I'll leave you one more comment, Mr. P, and then I'll just delete you in the World War II. But stick with whatever game you're learning and then learn it to the point where you can get good at it, embrace it and get the results. And then go get another version of the game. Go Hypnotic or a style, choose something else and master that angle. They're all different social skill sets. Okay, but what you don't want to do is be bouncing around looking for the best part of the game or the best gambit or the best routine or the best instructor. It's not about them, it's about you. Wow, so we're picking up some weirdos tonight, right? The weirdos, you get more followers. Broadcaster blocked. There you go. It is what it is, right? By the way, haters, you know what it stands for? Haters. Haters. Having anger towards everyone reaching success. What are we talking about here? Just logged in. Okay, so for those of you, if you want to know in Periscope what we're talking about, at the broadcaster, I stick to mystery method. Yeah, and then go on and learn other methods as well. There's lots of different ways. Always look at the title. The title normally is very, very specific, but I think I need a day game. A lot of haters. Success. There you go. Absolutely. If you haven't got day game, you've got to get it because you're going to be out there and the girls don't always have groups around you. You don't have your wingmen to encourage you. You haven't got a buzzing environment. You might have to make a longer cold approach. And it's a different skill that you should learn because one day your future wife, the mother of your children, is going to be walking across the road. But because you didn't know how to apply your game in the daytime, you're going to miss out. Likewise, if you're just a gay gamer, if you're just doing that kind of game, one day that beautiful girlfriend you've got, you're going to go out together. And all of a sudden, well, hold on, I'm not used to speaking in loud bars. I don't like it. Oh, I don't know how to deal with the AMOG. If you've got a hot woman, you're going to have to deal with AMOGs. You have to get guys testing you all the time. She's going to want to watch how you perform with her girlfriends and friends around. What are you going to do? Oh, sorry, I'm a day gamer. I don't know how to speak sociably. I can't hold court. I can't deal with the group dynamics. So you stand against the fucking wall like a wallflower and your value just goes out the window and she was really into you and now she's like, she just feels it. So be very careful of just having one model and saying, that's what I do. It's the best thing because they're all great. I've just benefited from lots of masters learning all the different styles of game. You're right, you've got to have an all-round game. Matador Mayhem, big alpha style. Mystery, the ability to be calm, and lots of conversational wizardry and the ability to captivate a room. Love Drop, the ability to be playful and vibe and create laughter and humor with any conversation without any routines or gambits whatsoever. Ross Jeffries, in terms of the neuro-linguistic programming, the patterns of building comfort and building deep connections. Good night, my friend. So there's lots of different styles there, and some of the naturals, but everybody starts somewhere. Find something that works for you and make it work. Because the reality is, if the same game, whatever style it is being taught to a few guys, and they're getting the same training as you, it's the same model, the same theory, and it's working for them and not you, what does that say? It's all about you. So don't give up on your game, just get more practice. Right, let's get on to something you really need to know. Is this making sense? If it's making sense, pump the little screen and we'll have a little heart attack. That tells me it's on point. So interestingly, yesterday we had about 20 live viewers. It was our very first one. What was really exciting, there was only 20 people on. Then there was another 40 replay viewers in the last 24 hours. 6,199 likes, like 6,200 likes for our very first one. So I appreciate you guys, I'm giving good energy out and I appreciate that good energy back. Lots of pink hearts. I hate it when I get a Periscope, but I'm the guy with a pink heart, right? So, approach anxiety. Let's talk about that. I have no system for me. I feel There you go. You got to start somewhere. By the way, I'll be in Vegas about 3 weeks' time and then straight after Mexico City, which I'm really excited about. Come back in Finland and Scandinavia for a bit, then go back to Los Angeles, then back to Finland, then back to California. So I'll be seeing a lot of you guys around very, very soon. So do help, please, and share this. Now we're going to get into the crux of the session, which is literally approach anxiety. We literally want to understand it, decode it, and fucking deal with it, right? Let's put this in the bag. Now, there are lots of people who have different strategies, and they're all beautiful for helping people deal with it. My approach, I'm a practical personality. So the problem with approach anxiety, in terms of dealing with it, a lot of coaches, when we have a lot of junior coaches and senior coaches, and I do all their training for them. So I'm not so much focused on the pickup skills, but how to be a good coach. And one of the mistakes a lot of people make is getting very technical and helping a guy go inside of himself to work on his inner game. Now, there is a place for that, but the danger is, what is the problem in the first place? Most approach anxiety will come not from somebody who's highly extroverted, but somebody who's more introverted, because they like to think to speak rather than speak to think, if that makes sense. The extrovert speaks to think, it goes into the mind like mine, out my mouth. No skill set within the game. Okay, there is a place for it though, there is a place for it. The danger is the more introverted the guy or the less social they are, they're inside of their head already. If a guy is on the inside of his head processing, analytical, paralysis by analysis, if he is that guy and you're getting him to do lots of inner talk, okay, you're doing the opposite of what he should be doing, which is interacting in the outside world. How do you act more and think less in field? Fucking good question. How do you act more and think less? I'm going to come back to that because I'm going to cover that in about 5 minutes. So I'm just going to park it. I'm just writing those down. When I park it, it means I'm going to bring it in an area more relevant, if that's okay. And I am here for you guys. So you're allowed to derail me. It's fun. Because simply this is for you. And I really want you guys to get the skills that you deserve so you can have the woman and the lifestyle that you deserve. And everybody deserves a good life, right? So approach anxiety. Listen to your Periscope broadcast. Very insightful. You're welcome, my friend. What's that? Monax. What's your name? Where are you from? By the way, if you've not announced yourself and I've not met you before, just say your first name and what city you're from, just to the other guys. And guys, follow these other guys. These are your future wingmen. If you're traveling and you've got Monax and he happens to be in Chicago, and you've got a wingman in Chicago, so try and hook up together, So one thing about approach anxiety is remember, it's a lot of headspace in the first place. So if you're helping your wingman, try not to get too technical in the field. London, awesome, buddy. I'll be seeing you soon. Okay, try not to get too technical. There's too much analytical thinking, stinking thinking. It's very, very hard to get out there and create outward bound action. Okay, and a little thought for you is, do you really, if I want to create some light, do I need to think about that? I know there's a system. Do I really understand physics? Not really. I ain't that clever. Okay, but can I flick the switch? Light. Of course I can. As a child, if they get used to flicking the switch, it'll be much easier. They don't have to understand physics to be able to flick the switch and get the result of light. Later on, when they need to understand or there's some problems, you might want to go backwards. But the first thing you want to do is start flicking the switch. Start getting the results. I'm going to say something to you all as well. One of the key things about overcoming your approach anxiety, and first of all, it's absolutely normal and human nature, and you would not be a man if you didn't feel some approach anxiety. You'd probably be a bit miswired in deciding if you want a bloody sex change if you didn't feel it, right? I'll come back to that. Okay, it's normal to feel it. Where are we? Here we go. This is it. So I want to just write one of your questions down before that. How do you get out of your head while in field? So approach anxiety. One of the things that you should understand is where it's coming from. And approach anxiety is built in there as a man to protect you. You see, what are you affiliated with the game? That's how you know. There you go. You're reacting to her beauty. Okay, but if you're accustomed to beauty, you wouldn't be. So it's not necessarily whether she's hot, it's whether you are accustomed to beauty. Am I affiliated with the game? Absolutely. My colleague is Mystery from the game. I came along on the scene just after that series, in the Pickup Artist book and the next series. That's where I entered the scene. And yeah, I've enjoyed the game. It's been good to me. And I'm very fortunate to have a lot of super powerful mentors who are very good at different areas of the game. So I'm sharing those with you now to take a bit of the pain out of your game. And one of the things that you should know is that these feelings are purely evolutionary. They're there designed to protect you. Now, if you go into a civilized bar and you approach a wrong woman or a woman who rejects you, no big deal, move on. But imagine going back a couple of thousand years, as caveman level, you approach the wrong woman. The only way the male could demonstrate his alpha characteristics of his ability to protect her and be a leader and a provider and a support when she was impregnated with his child, which is what she's looking for, the only way to deal with that and demonstrate that is literally come and beat you over the head with a club. So there was always violence and tension associated with approaching the wrong woman, because they didn't walk around with a ring on their finger. They didn't walk around handing out, this is my goal, leave her alone. So people were always testing boundaries, and that's how people were designed to become alpha males, and women mated with the stronger males that could protect them. So how did males demonstrate their strength? They looked for weaker males. Hence where we get the AMOG from, alpha male of the group. They're always testing the weaker males. And if you've got a beautiful woman, okay, by the way, you know your woman's not hot enough if you don't get guys coming testing you and trying to interrupt you when you're with your girl. They wouldn't do it if she was ugly. Okay? So it is designed, the approach anxiety is if you make the wrong approach. Well, in the old days, if you got maimed with a club, okay, if you got hit or hurt, first of all, you lose your pride. You lose your status position in the tribe. You could be ostracized. You might have to feel the cold. Chimpanzees do that. There is a one where there is in Iceland where they're all sitting around in this hot tub, these monkeys in this water. Look it up online. And the alpha males dominate all the time. And the ones who've had a few fights and lost, they have to sit around the outside and they can't get in the hot water because the alpha male monkeys kick them out. Why did those fights happen in the first place? Like normal in life, most problems and most murders relate to women. Okay? It's because they would demonstrate their alpha male characteristics and fighting over women. And the consequences is these poor little monkeys are shivering, may die because they can't get in this hot water in these Icelandic conditions. And that's the same everywhere in the evolution of mankind. And the animal kingdom, the alpha male steps up and demonstrates it. But if you approach the wrong woman, okay, what are you going to do? Turn around and you made a mistake? No, you're going to have to fight or you're going to get chased, but they're going to know your pecking order, okay, and it could get you hurt. Okay, maybe it's not like that these days in civilized Manchester or Los Angeles. It's not like that. Maybe in Glasgow it's still maybe a bit the same, you know. Approach the wrong woman, you get a glass smashed over your head. I love you Glaswegians, okay, but it's still there. Evolution does not understand that civilization has changed so much. It still feels those evolutionary pangs. They are designed to protect you. Civilized man, parts of it, the bits I go to. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? It is the same as walruses. There is a problem now with walruses that a lot of the males are so big because the walruses, when they approach the female, if the female sensed he was a beta female, they let off shrieks to warn other alpha male walruses that they are being approached and set upon by these beta ones. So the alpha males come across and literally fight and crush these other ones. Her DNA wiring is attracting that. So they keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and genetically producing bigger walruses. Now there's a problem thousands of years later that some of these walruses are so huge that in the mating, they crush the women. The size of them is just so big. No, that's basic. That's basic. But we are designed to feel that. Let's skip forward a few thousand years. Okay, like 1800s. Everybody's standing around in the village hall. Kind of like public speaking. There you go. There you go. Okay, so village hall. Everybody's, poetry days. Well, men would approach and put over their conversational wizardry in their poetry and win people over. Now imagine one guy in that whole room. The whole village is there for the turnout of this dance. And he approaches a group of girls. And it doesn't go too well. And he doesn't win them over, and they kind of giggle and turn their backs. The whole room see this. What happens to his value? Woof! He's just affected his social standing. No other hot woman are going to look at their level. They're not going to even touch him now. He's just killed himself for the whole room. He's wrecked the room so fast. He can't go to another bar in another town. He lives there. They stay in the same town. It's not as transient as it is today. So now all of a sudden, he's not going to get married into a wealthy family potentially. He's going to lose job potential. He's a value because of one bad approach. He's dead. He's out of the water. Again, and sometimes you approach the wrong woman or you make advances, that's somebody else. Then it's fisticuffs. It's pistols at dawn. It's sword fights. Same mankind threw over. And what it means is that are you the guy who does Uniasans? I pay online. No, that's not me, mate. Too technical for me. Too technical. Okay, so here's the shit. It's designed to protect you. You are meant to feel the approach anxiety for your own safety. Okay? And even still, in sophisticated bars, people are very concerned about who's with who. Women will react if they're not really sure of your value. Okay, that happened many times. The Supermodel Awards in London, the Embassy. I was there with a couple of guys on a boot camp. I was like a small mini one, like an impact one with 4 guys. And I remember saying to this girl, she just flicked her hair, blanked me, and just, wow. Shit happens. The game doesn't guarantee you any goal. Fuck that. It just tips the balance in your favor a little bit more. Funny thing is later, speak to a couple of girls, have them laughing and giggling. I'm locked in. One of them's flicking their hair, and she happens to notice these girls in my company having a good time, and they were hot as well. Later on, when we were at a table and her friends were moving around and hanging around and I moved away, one of the girls said something about my jacket. Now she's only reacting to that because she's seen me being sociable and leading a few other men and doing what I do best. And the same girl, I like your, and she just tried to engage me. Are you the same girl black? Oh no, that wasn't me. It was fucking her. Why? Because she didn't know my value at the time. Yeah? Only till I upload it, she sees my value, then she's going to react it. Guys don't do that. We see beauty, which is the value on the outside. Yeah, we see beauty on the outside. Her tits are beauty, and we judge it. And, a guy will look at each other and go, I'd do that. And we could take action on that. Women go, I could do him, but they won't take action until the value is uploaded. Because our value as a man is on the inside. Our provider ability, leader of men, protector, socially intuitive, all of the things that will make her feel safe and secure, raise her social status, and protect her when she's married with your children or not. By the way, women also feel the same anxiety pangs. Do you know when they feel it? Not before the approach, just before sex. What you know in the game is what's called last-minute resistance. She feels those same anxious pangs. Why? Because her evolutionary wiring is saying, if I fuck this guy and he doesn't stick around, he's not, for instance, he might not be emotionally wired correctly. He might start flipping out on me later on and get all jealous and crazy. That's why she tests you with shits tests. Okay, he might not have any money to protect me. When we have kids, we're going to have arguments because we've got no money to look after them. He might not be a leader of men, so he's always going to have limited choice in life. So it's all going through her evolutionary wiring. She doesn't have to think about this. It's designed and built into her evolutionary design to protect her from fucking up. Now, thousands of years later, we got condoms, we got contraception, but evolution doesn't know that. We felt in the beginning and the women feel the end. Good point. You get that. Evolution doesn't know that, so they're still designed to feel those pangs of fear. Okay? Now, she, if you do everything right, will sleep with you, have your children, marry you one day. You've got to now step up and be a man. And this skill set of the game, every man's got to learn it. It's like the world of viruses on computers, designed between those who've had a virus and those who are going to get it. Okay? A lot of guys just won't get the game and will exist on the periphery of life for the rest of your lives because you have no game. And the approach anxiety is the entry point. Delivery we talked about yesterday is how you get good at the game. But understanding this, that we have approach anxiety, it's designed to protect you. Put it in a fucking box and get on with living the game. Now, okay? Do you get that? You wouldn't be a man if you didn't feel fear. So don't feel less of a man because you feel that fear. It's absolutely normal. Okay? Does it make sense? Pump those fucking hearts if it's making sense. I want to know. By the way, we were on 6,199 before we started. We're gonna go past 10,000. Okay? I know this is gonna hit, and we together as a group are gonna impact the lives of 100,000 men around the world. That is my goal. The one will all be on Periscope at one time, but the ripple effects of what you know and how you help your wingman, please take notes and go share this with other people, you know? That's all good. Okay, so put it in a box. Remember, if you don't deal with this approach anxiety, can you break up the steps on how you overcome? Go in there now, my friend. Go in there now. Seb, yeah, go in there right now. First one, you have to recognize it and understand it for what it is. And sometimes that gives you a bit of comfort, okay? An inward comfort. But remember, the game is played on the outside. So remember that here's the pain. Psychologically, people do more to avoid pain than they'll do for the pleasure. So let me give you a bit of pain. If you don't deal with this now, it will affect you for the rest of your life. And you know what the sad thing is? And I share this because I've been there as that guy. Is that what's going to happen at some point? You will meet the right girl, and eventually that relationship will come to an end. It's just life. That's just life. You'll meet the right girl, but what will happen is it will fall down. It breaks down. She'll sense that you're not used to beauty, or you're reacting to her beauty, and she's did too much compliance testing, you jumped through way too many loops, and you were chasing and chasing. And after a while, she liked you initially, now you're just a chaser, and the more you become a chaser, and she's a chasee, she just loses interest. For whatever reason, the relationship goes wrong. So you know what the sad thing is for a man is, and also for the woman, is that as the man, you will stay in that relationship because you're comfortable, you're getting a bit of sex, you get a lot of grief to get that little bit of sex, you're not happy, but you feel safer in the relationship as opposed to the opposite. As the guy with no skill who has to go back out on his own into bars and clubs when he didn't have the skill in the first place and he just scraped getting that girl, and he'll fear it. Hence, you will stay in the wrong relationship for way too long, both being bitchy and moany with her and she's bitchy and moany with you, both making each other bloody miserable, because you feared getting back into the game and getting out there like a man and learning how to hunt. Because you feared too much approach anxiety. So this will stop you getting out of the wrong relationship and into the right relationship because you never locked down the skill. You will miss having relationships with beautiful people and beautiful women and meeting great men, friends because of those women as well. And the skill, because men do value other men's skill. You could be a multimillionaire, guy could be like a beggar. But if that beggar's got some skill with women, that guy's going to respect him. Good to think about that point. Which one is that? Which one is that? Share your aha moments. If you get some, just retype them in, and then other people can see them as they're watching, because you will be picking up on different things that other guys are. So remember, if you don't lock this skill down, it's for the rest of your life. You see, the exciting thing about being a man, and you can use this as a gambit, use this as a fun, playful gambit even. I've said this in field, it's great, is she has a shelf life. By the age of 30, 40, she's starting to worry that her beauty is in decline. Okay, she's a depreciating asset, right? Okay, so she has an anxious energy when a woman's midlife crisis kicks in. Now, a guy, if he looks after his grooming, his physique, his fashion, and his social skills, they will stay with him for the rest of his life. And then you're like a Sean Connery, and a George Clooney, 60 years old, still getting laid. What does she look like at the age of 60? Sean Connery or George Clooney, right? Okay, and how does that feel? Right? So the point is, you can still keep going for years and years and years, just because too old for you, mate. When a woman says, how old are you? Too old for you, little girl, now run along. Find a guy called Jason. Somebody will make you chicken soup when you're ill. Okay? So, don't jump into people's loops. So one thing that you want to do is make sure that you lock this skill down, make a concerted effort to do something about it, because it will pain you for the rest of your life. So, one thing that you can do about approaching anxiety, okay, lots of them, mate. Got thousands. It's an art for me, and I liked it. So we will have a Gambits one before the end of the week, and I'll talk about things where they're good and not good, and where delivery kicks in. Mr. Gurmit Samra, film director there. Awesome. Nice to have you in, buddy. So one of the biggest things that you have in your arsenal about approaching anxiety is recognizing, first of all, it's not going to go away. And until you get movement on the outside, the longer you wait, the more it builds up, especially in a social environment. If you linger on the outside, okay, it gets harder to get into the conversation or make the approach. So you've got to smash it earlier on. When I go out in a boot camp and I'm taking the guys out, the first 2 sets, we do not discuss. They're not allowed to be discussed. We can't look at them. We don't remember them. They do not count. Everybody gets, it's just a little rule I had, because then everybody goes out. I even lock up a load of shots on the bar when we did that in Miami. It was fun. Missed you, we had a little Jaeger shots, and I said to the guy, right, everybody go get blown out twice in a row, as fast as possible. I don't care what. I don't want to speak about it tomorrow. I don't care what you said. Go get blown out, get 2 sets out of the way, come back, have a shot. What I was doing is help and anchor the positivity of the doing, as opposed to the thinking and processing of it. And what we did is, by getting that out of the way, it wasn't so painful. They didn't feel the pain. See, a lot of guys, if you only approach 1 or 2 girls, what series of steps do you take when you get AA? Here we're going through it. The idea is not to get AA in the first place, or let it get too high. Everybody has approach anxiety. Again, you wouldn't be a man, okay? You're becoming transgender, or you're heading for a bloody sex change and chop your dick off. Do it tonight, okay? Because every guy gets approach anxiety at some level. And even if they're really good as a pick about it, some super hottie comes in, he's going to feel it even more. It's human nature. So accept it. That's how you deal with it in the first place. Then recognize that you need to rack up some numbers. How many of you guys have ever done sales before? I used to do a lot of sales training. And when we had guys, I have no idea, mate. I get confused. United or City, I have no idea. Yeah, grown men kicking a pig's bladder around the field and getting paid millions for it. It just confuses me. He's talking about football, by the way, or soccer in the UK. You need to rack up some numbers, because you need to rack up some numbers so that you do not feel that one girl. Now, if you are in sales and you picked up the phone, 1 here, 1 there, 1 tomorrow, you'd be too needy. Your language wouldn't be flowing, and you'd be overthinking it. And other people, especially the girls, they will be picking up on your neediness and your nervousness, and you're going to get blown out even faster. So just accept initially you are going to be a little bit needy, a bit nervous. You're going to be leaning in and reacting to them, all these miniature things that you can't control. It is what it is. So the only thing that you can control until you have more skills, I don't think so, like catch and go. I missed the first part. Anyway, what's going to happen? It's numbers. What you lack in skill, you can make in numbers. One of your objectives in the game, as in life, in terms of if you want to improve, by the way, you only know you're growing when you're feeling uncomfortable. Yeah? If for instance, you are not feeling uncomfortable when you go out, then you're not stretching yourself, you're not growing, you're dying. So to feel uncomfortable is a good feeling. But it means you're challenging yourself and you're growing as a man. So you need to start racking up some numbers. So you need a plan. You need to get out there and you need to open more sets, more groups, speak to more strangers than you normally would in a very short space of time. It's called volume and velocity. That's what Jordan Belfort teaches. Okay, you want to get this rocket off the ground. Okay, you need to put a lot of fuel on it in a short amount of time. You can't put a bit of fuel on it now and again and expect it. By the way, 80% of the fuel to get it off the ground, 20% to get all the way to the moon and back. And that's just like the game. You need to open a lot of sets in a very short space of time. In a month, you need to go smash 100, 200 sets. And the more you condense into a shorter space of time, then eventually, the approach anxiety will still be there. But guess what? You're not noticing it so much. Maybe the first couple of sets, you're not noticing it so much because you now got into the habit. And this is the key thing, is building up a habit. 30 days, by the way, 30 days to make or break a habit. Anything in life, 30 days to make or break a habit. But it's only going to work if you're going to do numbers, because your objective in the game, if you want to get really good, remember this, you want to write this down, is to become no bulletproof. No bulletproof. Love Drop talked about it. One of his best abilities, I wouldn't say he was really great at the game, but his ability to be fun and playful and feel, and some woman to say something to him or he get rejected, he's just in his own headspace, very playful. Being the ghost, non-reactive. Isn't that relying on state? I'm not going to go there. Stick with me and then you can condense it later. Let's not swing dicks on analyticals and theory. Become no bulletproof. I'll write that down. So here's the thing. It's called systematic desensitization. If you approach two goals all night long and you get rejected, you're by default going to build up more anxious energy for the future. So the key thing is, if you're going to go out and do this, do it and smash it. If you go out there, my first boot camp in Chicago, those who know me, who were around on that, I had a lot of approach anxiety. And after Mystery says, look, it's just a numbers game. And I thought, I did sales. You know, I know how to, you know, I hate sales. So it is just a numbers game. I opened more sets and got blown out more than all of the other 12 infield guys put together. What they remember is we had a bit of Thursday warm-up and we went out a few guys, and it was a Friday and Saturday, and I paid for a little bit of extra to hang around with the coaches on the Sunday night and get more experience. They remember on the Saturday night me doing quite well, because they saw me getting a kiss on the cheek and I had a make out with a girl, and there was a girl bounce with me from one bar to the next. And there you go, desensitize more. What they don't remember is how much more rejection than the others I got. I just thought, I've got to get through this, I've got to plow through this. And the one thing that sticks with me today, and that Misty taught me, that's why we named the company the 3-second rule. That is the most powerful tool you have. Now we can get into inner game and talk about it all day long. Export psychology, I love that shit, but it ain't going to help you in the game. Get out and rack up numbers. Do numbers, and when you've got it, even if you say hi and blow out, and you have to get blown out saying the wrong thing 10 times, I don't care. Get into approaching, because what you're not looking for is not looking for the right thing to say. What did you say in response? Outcome dependency. You are looking to get into the habit of, girl there, approach. Even if it goes badly wrong, next girl, approach. You can get it, and once you've done that 20 times, eventually you'll desensitize. The key question is, do you want to learn this game slow or do you want to learn it fast? If you want to learn it slow, open 2 or 3 sets, bitch and moan and have a pity party all night long that you got rejected. Go find some coach who wants to explain all about inner state, inner game to you and get more to your fucking headspace. Or why don't you just come out and a good coach will push you into set after set after set, and then you'll just be simply desensitized. It'll still kick in the next night. But if you keep doing that, you'll build up a habit of approaching when you feel uncomfortable. And that will override the uncomfortability. The uncomfort is still there. The approach anxiety is still there. You're still in set. Guys are in set. It looks like it's going well. He's anxious about what to say next. But you've got into the habit of approaching. That is why the 3-second rule is the most powerful rule in the whole game. Because it gets you out of a headspace for a while and gets you moving. And even if you get blown out, you go again and again and again. Systematic desensitization. Become no bulletproof, okay? Get laser focused on doing your numbers. If you say you're going to do 10 sets, not over 5 hours, okay? 1 hour, boom. And as you get more skilled, you'll stay in set longer and you'll learn how to feel comfortable with all of the different variables of conversation hitting you and tests hitting you and shit tests and loops and everything else that's going on socially, you'll become more desensitized to it. But you'll learn faster, you'll feel less uncomfortable because you'll feel better that you're learning and growing. And then all of a sudden you will be getting some shits and giggles really quickly. I give myself a goal and there you go. Have a goal. Another thing in terms of dealing with approach anxiety is to set not just a goal on how many sets. Let's say I want to practice approaching seated sets or mixed sets. And irrespective of the outcome of how they're going to go, I want more experience. You see, guys from caveman days still got laid. They didn't need to know the mystery method or the M3 model or whatever else is out there. They didn't need to know that. How did they get into it? Well, they got fucking weeded out of existence because they didn't do it. And the ones who did, they got it from repeat, practice. And you naturally get better. You got to start somewhere though. So lock it down. Approach anxiety. You'll always have it. What else have I got here? We know it's a danger. The 3-second rule is all about building up the habit. Do you get that? If you get that, hit 10, pump those likes. Okay? 3-second rule. Because if you don't obey the 3-second rule, here are the consequences. Let me sell you the pain. What's going to happen is, one, she sees you observing. She actually thought you looked all right. Okay. But then you don't approach. Lack of confidence in her eyes. Well, what is confidence related to? It's related to successes. Multiple successes. What boot camps are coming up? Vegas and Mexico City. Multiple successes donate confidence. By demonstrating a lack of confidence, you're the kind of guy in her mind, her evolutionary mind, not just sits there analytically thinking about this, that doesn't have much success. Probably doesn't have the social tribe factor either. So she senses a lot about you by your lack of approach. Now, sometimes when I'm really busy, I look at a girl, I don't want to have to run across the room. I might just throw it at her. Hi, 1 minute. Because I've got other girls with me, okay? But I'm going to acknowledge that I observed and I can open it later. I might be playful, yeah? We'll talk about gambits tomorrow and opening. But what I want to get across to you right now is that every second that you don't approach past the 3 seconds, you are creeping her out, you're being the weird observing guy, and you're creeping yourself out. You're weirding yourself out. You are getting into a headspace. You are making excuses. Oh, she's got her friends with her. She might be with that guy. A friend's coming back. She wouldn't be interested. She doesn't look like she wants to be approached. She's got her earphones on. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. And you're getting into that headspace, and it feels real because it's killing you. Because you didn't obey the 3-second rule. So if all you know, without getting over analytical on in a game, MHM, what does that mean, my friends? There you go. Got up and left. Because just being there in the absence, I tell you one little experiment. Notice when a beautiful woman goes by and you're in a group of guys, notice how it goes silent. That means you are all reacting to her when she walks by. Anytime that happens, as a little tip, just start talking about anything and talk loud and confidently. Then all your other guy friends are just staring and observe her, and she recognizes you as being the leader of that group. Boom. There you go. Okay, so 3-second rule. Guy, I'm not going to go into loads. I mean, because for me, the 3-second rule is a whole 1-hour exercise on its own, right? It's a 1-hour exercise on it, but the consequences of not obeying it, okay, you're going to stale yourself out fast. So sometimes get a guy. I've got one of a wealthy client, and because he had a little bit more coin, I said to him, right. And I got him, and he had to literally give me £2,000. And every time he didn't obey the 3-second rule, I took £50. Well, he doesn't need the money, okay? I took £50 out of this pocket and put it in that pocket. And every time he approached, I'd give him some of the money back. And I remember, I'm from Manchester, hey. We were in Manchester doing this very exercise, and there was £550 on that left. And I gave it to a homeless guy on the outside. He didn't mind, he didn't need the money. But the point was, I was making him feel a pain that every time he approached, he got the money back. Okay, every time he didn't, he lost some money. And we have some games, but what I'm saying is you'll find your own games, but take a wingman out. Wingman's the best guy. You say, your set or my set. Take turns. Boom, boom, boom. Because guys, if you're with a guy who just constantly won't approach, okay, you need to move away from them and get yourself back moving as well. Otherwise, they'll stale you out. And that's what you're doing, guys. You're staling yourself out. You're staling your wingman out. You're staling her out, all because you're not obeying the 3-second rule. At least if you go, you're going to get the experience of going. Later on, you'll start to figure out what to say, or you get yourself on a boot camp or some training and you get some things to say. And by the way, for those of you who said, just be yourself. Well, if be yourself wasn't working, why does being yourself wouldn't work? Okay? Doesn't. So there you go. That's so far. Numbers, no bulletproof. Okay. Are we on the right track? Does that making sense to you now? We can get into physics and the inner state stuff, but it's not going to help you get moving fast. You just got to go and bite the bullet and become no bulletproof, okay, and less drunk. You know what? Some people say, I know English guys, Maddo used to say, no drinking. I'm like, fuck that, and a quick whiskey if I need it. It's not going to fuzzy me out. You don't drink alcohol until you're fuzzied out, okay? But what I was doing, sometimes I have, when I go out, a little thing I do is a state changer. I go out, and as soon as I get in and I've opened one set, I get to the bar and I have a disgusting shot like Jaeger that I do not like. It hits my body and I go, ooh, that burned. Fucking. No, it has its place. It has its place in a game. And it stings, that drink, and it just reminds me, I'm out now. It gets me out of my headspace, and you do whatever you do. Matador used to put these music in. He used to play his music to get himself into state and get all pumped up and excited. One of the best things you can do is not when you get out, is before you go out. Don't be bringing your theory bullshit and start wanting to talk about what you want to say in the club or in the bar or out socially. Do that before you go out. Get your wingman around your house, have a few guys together, have some drinks, practice being playful, fucking around, and have giggles and laughs and be speaking to people through the day, because it'll make it easier to be more conversational when you go out. Don't go from being in your own headspace and taking all that headspace into the bar with you. Sometimes you're not going to be able to avoid it. It is what it is. Approach anxiety is there to protect you. It's human nature to feel it. And all you're doing is suppressing it with the skills and the habits and the actions that you've built up from obeying the 3-second rule and approaching. It's as simple as that. Make sense? Pump those hearts. Tells me you're on track. One thing I'd like to leave you before we get into the Q&A is, in your opinion, who drinks more, the Americans or the British? You obviously must be American if you're asking that question, I'm assuming. That doesn't need responding to. The Americans don't even drink, for fuck's sake. Okay. So, okay, drinking is a good game, the drink game. I can do that. I'm only teasing, my friend. In through the nose, out through the mouth, shoulders back, chest forward, deep breathing and smile. So, one thing I want you to think about. Now, I've been studying a lot of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich, and about visualization of where you're going to be in the future. Imagine that you knew that in the future you were going to be with the most beautiful girl in the world. For you, a girl that brings you alive. Fuck what the world think of her. Does she bring you alive? And by the way, if you're only used to 5s, your game necessarily isn't 10s. If 7s float your boat and you're used to 5s all of your life and you can be happy, then good for you, my friend. Good for you. But what you want is, whatever woman's making you feel happy, and she looks good and gets you all fuzzied up inside, right? And she treats you the way you want to be treated as well, and you're happy in life. Visualize more of that lifestyle in the future and feel good about it now. Because the reality is, if you continue to practice these skills, that is what you will end up with. And you have to trust and believe in that and be excited. So I spend a lot of time of mentally anchoring, when I'm out, even if it doesn't go right, I'm building for the future. Thank you. Appreciate you. Buy me a drink before you hit on me. Okay, I'm building for the future. And if you don't know, we talked yesterday, when people book a holiday, you haven't been on the holiday, so why the fuck do you feel good about it now? You booked that Caribbean holiday, the boss calls you a wanker because you were slow at work. You're like, what do I care? I'm going on holiday, right? And why? Because you are drawing down on the future emotions of what you already know will happen, because you've booked the holiday. By booking yourself on some training, reading the books, getting involved in this game, you are committing to a journey. It's just down to your decisions of how long you take to get there. Slow or fast, make a fucking decision. I wanted to get it done fast. So I went through a lot more sets than everybody else, got blown out a lot more times than everybody else, got better faster than anyone else. That's all I did. That's all I did. So you can draw down on the emotions. That's why 75% of the enjoyment factor of going on holiday, remember the last holiday you went on or the one you're going to go on? You get excited about it now. Why? You haven't even been on it. There you go. You're looking forward to your next holiday. Where you going next, my friend? Where you going next? Do share. So here's the thing. Now, let me leave you with this thought on approach anxiety and believing in guana. Nice. Nice. My lack of geography is like thinking, where the fuck is that? South America. Ah, nice, nice. Some nice South American women down there. I'm looking forward to coming to Mexico City, by the way. Very excited about that. So, welcome, Mr. Powell there. And do share this, by the way, because as long as you share it before the end, otherwise you've got to copy the link and post it in the groups. If you click share now on your Twitters, it'll just go viral faster. So, here's the thing. We talked about like believing in the future life you're going to have, and not just about the girl you're going to be with, the home you're going to live in, the car you're going to be driving, how relaxed you're going to feel, the service you're going to do to your community. Feel good about your future life now. And the very fact that you take action right now, I was going to say anxious energy, yeah, take action right now, and I have to go through the process of feeling approach anxiety. Fantastic, because you are building for your future life. Fuck what happens now. This is just practice. You don't start the game of tennis or golf or all things and go, well, I'm shit at it. Well, I am, because I hate golf. I can't play it. Okay, it's just too long for me to learn. I don't like things that take long. But if you take up tennis, okay, you don't go, well, it didn't work. I'm not going to do it. You know you've got to get the practice to enjoy the game of tennis later on, so you can be in a beautiful place around the world and having a game of tennis in the sun. It's nice and relaxing, but you've got to practice for that. If you want to go climb a mountain, you just want to go up the mountain. Well, I can't get up there. I was too unfit. Well, you go and get fucking fit so you can enjoy the exercise of climbing the mountain. Are you married? I'm not sure. No, it's just a ring. Germans, I think, believe they wear it on their hand. The Brits is all that ring. It's not a wedding ring. It's actually my old company's name. It's got the name of the company on there. Synergy means working together. 1 on 1 equals 3. Synergos. Okay? So, if you believe in your future life, and every time you go out, this is just practice, and you've got to go through it. Like, if you want to have better influence with people, you probably want to learn some sales skills and learn how to ask optional questions as opposed to closed questions. It's something you've got to go through. Let me leave you a thought. Imagine right now you've just won the lottery, the national lottery. You won about $3 million, £2 million. Would you feel good? Type in "feel good" now if you would feel good. Do that now. If you won the lottery, would you feel good? Type it in, "feel good." Let's see that. This is interactive training, by the way. Feel good. Feel good now. Somebody's been technical. How do you reinforce the belief? Here you go. Here you go. So the future self is based on the actions you take right now. The repetition. You plan your work and you work your plan. You cannot control the outcome. You cannot control whether she goes fuck off. You cannot control she turns her back on you. But you can do the approach anyway. And all you want to do is get into the habit. That is the most important thing here. To obey the habit of the 3-second rule. Obey the 3-second rule. That's all you've got to do. And if you keep doing it, you will get better at the different stages. But if you miss that, everything else falls down. So you've just won the lottery. You're super pumped. You're super excited, right? You haven't told anybody. And you go to the lottery office and you're hoping to get you dressed up. You're looking smart. You're expecting the press there. And you're looking forward to getting you a big check. And all of a sudden, there's a lot of suits around. And you're like, this seems a bit strange. And they say, ask you to sit down, Mr. So-and-so. And we had a slight challenge. Literally what happened is we printed too many of the winning numbers that we didn't expect to. And there were a lot more winners than we thought. So, mistake, it happens. So we can give you your portion, which isn't $2 million now. It's $20,000, £20,000. 20,000. Or, because we don't want the bad press either, it's going to cost us a lot. If you are willing to allow our pot to build up again, we will sign off. The government are backing this. Okay, they've already agreed, so it's secured. If you wait 2 years till the pot builds up, you can have your $2 million. Let me ask you a question, guys. It's guaranteed. You've got to wait 2 years for your 2 million, or do you take the 20,000 now? Type in 2 million or 20,000. I'm going to make a point. No right or wrong, just a personal preference. Type that in now. 2 million or 20,000. 2 million in 2 years. 2 mil, 2 mil, 2 mil. 2 mil, 2 mil. Time, value of money. You got to calculate this. So was somebody to be analytical. Ask them to choose a number between 1 and 10. They say, That's a complicated question. Let me break down into a subgroup and analyze this. Oh yes, 7.47. Right, here's the point. You've just chosen the 2 million. You're a bit disappointed. There you go, there you go. You're a bit disappointed because you didn't get the money. And one of the stipulations that they tell you at the National Lottery, they say, you cannot tell a soul about this. If you tell a soul, the contract is void. So you walk out of there knowing that in exactly 2 years, you're going to be a multimillionaire. 2 million. How do you feel? How do you go about your day? If you walked into a bar and some girl turned her back on you, you can't tell anybody. You can't even tell your own partner. Your boss calls you a wanker. Your boss says you're useless. Try not to get run over by a car. But what are you going to start doing? You will start visualizing that future life. You'll start thinking about the houses, the cars, the money, the lifestyle. You'll start feeling good about it now. You'll feel good like the holiday. You will draw down on the emotion of the future because you've visualized it so strong and you know it to be true. And guess what? You'll attract more of that into your life immediately. People will sense, what's up with you? What's going on? They will sense that you've changed, even though it hasn't happened yet. Your job is when you make the decision to learn the game, whether it's an M3 model, whatever it is, I don't care. When you make that decision and stick to the path of learning skills in life for anything, never mind pickup, sales, influence, team dynamics, finance, whatever it is, then you look at the outcome of where you will be in the future if you just keep doing the numbers. The number game. And if you keep doing the numbers, by default, you will get the results. So if you know you're going to do the numbers and you're going to commit to it, as uncomfortable as it is, okay, and you don't worry whether she turns her back or says, no thanks, not interested, sorry, we're having a conversation, I'm speaking to my friends, whatever she says, doesn't make a difference. As long as you do the numbers, you know in a few years' time you're going to have the lifestyle. And that applies to every other area of your life. So you can feel good about it now by making the decision, as long as you're committing to the numbers. But if you're only going to go out and approach 2 or 3 girls and stand around social wanking with your glass in front of you, observing the room, and then spend your life on forums, asking questions, how do you overcome approach anxiety? What's the best gambit? What's this? What's that? Do the work today for the rewards tomorrow. Exactly, but you have to believe in it. An exercise from Napoleon Hill. Before you go to bed tonight, the last thing you observe is the future life you will be leading. And I drive up, I see my wife as I drive up in my head in the gravel in our big mansion, and I look at everything that's going to happen in the future. And I'm super excited and super pumped about it. And that's the smile I take to bed, because your unconscious doesn't understand the difference between what is real and what is not. You put it into your mind, you program it, you attract more of it. I wake up, I look at my goal card, I think about the house I'm going to own in California, the wife, the kids, the Land Rovers, the things that will make me happy, not necessarily for you. But I feel good about my day. And all I've got to do is just take the basic actions to get there. And that will happen. So I can feel good about my shit now. Is my life the way I want it to be now? No. Will it be in the future? Absolutely fucking yes. Dream big. Stay laser focused. Plan your work your plan, and take massive fucking action. And we don't have to worry about approach anxiety. So please, if you're a coach out there, stop fucking fueling the discussion of approach anxiety. It is what it is. Actions, repetition, and building a new habit of obeying the 3-second rule, and you will start to get better results. And later on, as you get into it, and then you want to understand it to feel a little bit better, then you can go study physics and figure out how to fucking get light. Me personally, I'd rather flick the fucking switch a few more times. What's the 3-second rule? 3-second rule is you observe a woman and you see yourself observing, lingering. Oh, 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, approach. Yo, what do I say? What? Don't care. Approach. Even if you fuck up and you say, hi, I don't know what to say, but I'm here whatever. I don't care what comes out your mouth. It's more important that you got into the habit of the approach. And then later on, you'll build other things in to say, or you'll feel more comfortable, be more naturally. But you have to build the habit. Yes, to answer the best, steadfast. Guys, does that make sense? Some practical systems there. Okay, not right for everyone, right for me, and a lot of the students have got a lot of success out of this, and we're talking quite a few thousand, so I can speak from a bit of experience. So yeah, I appreciate you pumping the hearts. We'll always have a 5-second heart attack at the end and see how many different colors are The myriads of appreciation, I like that. I appreciate you guys being here. It's nice to share. All I ask in return is that you share and help a few other guys. Yeah, if you want to get good at this game or get good at anything in life, okay, help a few other people get what they want and you'll get what you want more of. Okay, so we'll take a couple of minutes out and we'll have a Q&A. One of the guys asked a question about the steps and the 3-second rule. I kind of think we covered that. I'm not here to swing dicks on theory and analytics, but I'm more interested in you guys getting some practical results. Yeah? What are your questions? What are your questions? I'll hang on for 5 minutes more and then we're going to go. Please share this now for those of you. There will be a lot of people. It was answered. You're welcome. You're welcome. Hit me up and follow me. If you follow me on Periscope right now, what will happen is every time this goes live, I'll do it at the same time for the next 7 days, different lessons each day. I'll put it out there. You can go back and current emotional state when sarging. What was the actual question rather than just a buzzword? What is the website now? 3secondrule.com. Number 3secondrule.com. We also have a fantastic new group on Facebook. A lot of our coaches in there, some really guys with a lot of experience, some of my senior coaches and junior coaches, all sharing and supporting. And that's on Facebook, by the way, called 3-Second Rule. So you can go on there, follow those things, follow the Twitter, follow the Periscope, and you'll get advanced warning. It'll pop up and give you an announcement when these things are on. So I hit the hook point a lot, but I don't feel I got attraction. Should I trigger attraction after? Okay, hold on. How do you go from speaking to the woman to getting her phone number? Doesn't turn into spam approach. Okay, so there's a load of questions. I'll deal with that one. How do you get a number? Ask for the fucking number. Okay, it's nice and simple. Sometimes, guys, so what's the point? The number's going to flake. It's not, remember, sometimes it's not about always getting something. Did it work? It's more about building the repetition of the action so they get used to it. So just don't wait until the end of the conversation before you're about to leave. Just wait until there's a nice high point. By the way, I like our energy. We should keep this alive. How can we do that? That's one of my favorite ones. Lots of different ways to ask for the number. Hey, you know, we've got some shit going on next week and you tell us something that's going, really excited about it. A lot of friends coming in. I do actually have next weekend some friends coming in from Chicago and Hollywood. They're coming to descend on Manchester and the Rockstar time. And I was telling some girls the other day. And they're expecting me to go, oh, you should come along. And then I don't. I keep talking about something else. I've got to roll off. Oh, yeah, by the way, you guys should come along. We should keep this alive. How can we do that? Or are we fake booking, Twittering, or... And then, oh yeah, just hand over your phone and get them to type it in there. And say, I'll text you back as well because I'll end up losing it and I'll forget who you are. Just get into the process. There's loads of ways. Type in how to ask for their number. A lot of guys will say, well, it doesn't go anywhere with the flake. Let's worry about that later. You want the practice of getting the number first. And you just get used to it. A lot of times now, because I'm not interested in a relationship, I'll get girls all the time because I'm keeping my practice alive. I'll add them on Facebook because it builds up my social proof. I put a photo on the other day, got like 45 likes. Most of them are like 90% women. And women I don't really know, but they're seeing my lifestyle and the social proof is there. If anything went wrong in my relationship, I wouldn't want it to. But hey, I could move on because I would have choice galore. But you have to get into practice. Yeah, like practice approaching, practice get the number. Yeah, don't worry about where it's going to go, whether they're going to get flaky. Deal with that later. That's another question. So that was the number one. So by the way, in summary, it was, hey, you know what? I like our energy, but I do have to roll off. Our friends and I got to go close a deal, or we got to go meet some other friends. But let's keep this alive. How can we do that? Now, she might be a Twitter or a Facebook or just whatever she says. Well, let's go along with that. Yeah, put on Facebook. Or bust them on it. Facebook, Fakebook. I don't use that shit. Okay? So put your digits in there. I have to do something with your life too, even if... I missed that, buddy. Sorry, it pops up so fast that I miss it. What were they? What's a quick value demo in day game? Do you know what the great thing about day game is? And how much to invest on a girl with dates? Probably the fuel of going somewhere sometimes. And that one, me, not spend a penny. No, when you've got a bit of money... Okay, and I'm out there with some friends or something. If I buy a round of shots for a few people, I always get a few people to buy, you know. But I'm not going to go and just buy her drinks. In fact, if I do buy a drink, she's like, hey, you shy or something? There's the bar. Let me introduce you. Off you go. Be playful about it. Don't be over condescending about it, but we want free drinks. Who's that as a woman? So fucking what? Girl wants a free drinks? I'd love to buy you a drink. What I can see that you can buy me a drink that I will like. I'll let you try and guess and send them to the bar. I get more free drinks bought for me than I know what to do with. But you know what? There's also a bit of thing where you don't want to be too analytical about this, If you're the kind of guy is so desperate because you have any money, sort your life out because you don't mind buying a round of drinks. What you don't want to do is constantly be... Yeah, that's a bit sad. That's a bit sad. Some silly comments there. Okay. What you don't want to be doing is just over-investing. Because a lot of guys will do that. Now you just build a habit of that and she'll expect that because she'll think, you're always paying. Set the tone. If she's the right kind of girl, she won't mind paying her way. She hasn't got that much money and say, well, we'll have a budget between us. But set the tone of how you want to be in the relationship. Okay? Because don't bitch later on that if you buy everything earlier on and then you're complaining that she never spends any money with you because you set the tone, you set the habit. What was the other one? That was a bit more detailed. This is all kind of basic stuff, but that's fine if that's what you like. What else? Doesn't she turn to reckless spam approach when you just blindly follow them? Reckless spam approach. I can see what you mean. You got a good point. If you've got a guy with absolutely zero skill in his approach. But you know what? I'd still rather, if it was a student, I'd still give him some skills so he can improve in between. But I'd still rather, especially on that very first night when we're going out with him, I'd still rather he got used to approaching and was desensitized by it. But yeah, if you say, by Auntie Robbins, if you say the same thing, expecting the same results, with the same manner, time and time again, is anything going to change? No, that's just fucking craziness. So, but you get into the habit of approaching and each time you'll get more comfortable with the responses. I eject if I say no IOIs. Cover that another time. But yeah, you're right. If you got a guy and it's just constantly going, he's got no skill. But hopefully, once a guy warms up, I normally find that even with the bad ones, okay, the really bad approach anxiety, 2, 3, 4 out of the way, once into 5 approaches, and they're comfortable, and I'll give them a little bit of a hand, that they'll start to relax, and it's not so bad. And then even if they get a sentence out and the girl responds to them, that's better than actually her never speaking to him or having no girl ever speak to him. So it's still better to obey the 3-second rule than observe and start thinking about what to say. But shouldn't an alpha man buy her drinks to show you can do? Oh, we're getting into some basic shit. We need to get out of the house more, okay? Again, I said that. If I'm out and I'm socially in tune, I've got friends around me, it's not a problem. But I buy shots. The reason I buy shots, because there'll be some guy I'm just chatting away, and him and his girlfriend, and you guys look good together, man. But they'll see me with another girl, so it's not a problem, and we'll just get chatting, and then buy some shots for a few people. But I don't mind that. They're not expensive. And it's the fun and playful way of drinking them. I always drink my shots for the mouth. I throw them back and have a bit of playfulness. That's just my style. Okay? I'm not worried about a few coin on a few shots. But I'm not going to go out of my way just buying her and her friends drinks. No? But they want to see you having fun. One of the most important things, by the way, is if you did a good false time constraint on the in, let her know, look, I've got a few friends here, so I'm only staying a moment. And you really mean it with your body language. Then you're not going to get sucked into having to, shall I buy you a drink? You're like, I can only stay a moment. I've got to rejoin my friends here. I don't want to be antisocial. I bought them out for a crazy time. We're celebrating the end of Ocean's 11. Boom. Have you found girls you sleep with showed attraction in first 3 minutes? They show interest. They show interest in the first couple of minutes or in the first few seconds. It's interest from your stimulus. And most stimulus, I'm going to get into that later in the week, the difference between what we call evolutionary attraction that hits these unconscious factors that she cannot help but react to, as opposed to the emotional buying temperature, the stimulus, where she's just reacting to a bit of fun and playfulness. Okay, stimulus. So if I don't bail out, I'm keeping missing things as I'm explaining it. So if you can wait until I'm finished and then hit it, otherwise I'm just going to miss some of your questions. Yeah, there's a world apart between real attraction. A lot of guys think these instant value demonstrations, quirky little, number 1 to 4, number 1 to 10, that's stimulus. That's not attraction. And just because she gives you indicators of interest, it doesn't say indicators of attraction, indicators of interest. You cannot assume she's attracted to you. She's intrigued by you. She likes you at the moment, but she's not necessarily attracted to you. We'll get into that later in the week. I'll hold my questions off as they better. Later on, we're going to build up. So we're on this little journey for the next 7 days. But please come on here for things that you really want to get some practical, discussions going, rather than you just want to play with theory just to test your own theory. Because this is about the game in the field. I'm definitely a practical and fielder. If you want to sit down and talk about IOD and IOI calibrators and micro calibration, go speak to Love Droppy. If I know you won't even have the tolerance for it anymore. But there are guys out there who love to talk game. I just had some wonderful masters, and I thank them, and that's why I'm sharing with you guys, because the game is in the field. The game is not practice in the theory. Okay, if you do enough of the sets, you'll just get better by default, and you'll be more comfortable doing that. How many sets would you say you opened during a night on average? When I was learning with very little skill, I'm into 15s and 20s. I'd literally do it over a few bars. For the mistake a lot of guys who do go out later clubs, one, you can't be heard. Get out really early, rack up some numbers, get them out of the way. The goals are more open to you. Their shields aren't up yet because they haven't been approached 1,000,001 times. Boom off all my dice. Thanks, Discovery. You're welcome, my friend. Pump the hearts. Much love. Appreciate you. Okay, get out early. And if you've got 3 bars, okay, well, that's 5 each at least. 5 each. 15 sets. Done. That's a couple of hours work. Guys burn out because they go out for 5 or 6 hours in a row, and it's a tough night. It's emotional. Go out and do 2 hours. Go out more nights and don't have loads to drink, and then don't kill yourself going past midnight. Get up and go to work the next day, and you'll get loads of sets. I had a business to run. I was trying to help Mystery's business with a program management and a few other things, and then I had to rack up the game numbers. But I set myself a goal. Mystery said 100 sets in the first month if you want to get good. Yeah, 100 sets in the first month. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. 100 sets in the first month. If you want to get good fast, 200 sets. That's 50 sets a week. Now, that might be a few day game ones, or people just socializing when you're out to the middle of the day and when you're out and about. And then literally another 20, 15, 20, 2 nights of the week. And you can rack up 200 sets. If you do that for month 1, 2 nights with a couple of day game observation sets, then you're racking up 200 sets. You're going to get good by default because you're getting all the practice that the other guys aren't. Some of those guys just do the basic and they go on to say, well, I'm just natural, because they've had repetition to become natural, okay? It's the guys who don't have that who literally have to learn a lot more technique because they're not doing enough. Merge the 2 worlds together. A little bit of technique, a little bit of strategy, a lot of repetition. Obey the 3-second rule, approach. But the approach anxiety, it's always going to be there. You know what? You'll have approach anxiety within your relationship of whether or not she's going to stay with you based on what you said, because you care too much, okay? But if you get into the relationship on an equal footing and you feel good about each other, you won't feel that. Sorry, Sean couldn't be Jimmy going to give some hearts and say, what's up? Who's that? Hey, Eric, buddy, how are you? Guy knows what he's doing. So again, we've got people like Eric, by the way, in our new Facebook group, the 3-second rule. It's a closed group. If you go on tonight, I'll be on for another 20 minutes. I will accept you, and you can look through there and look at some other videos. Again, this video will be available for the next 24 hours only. It's on Periscope, and it deletes. So share it with your friends. You can go back now, and you can rewind and watch it all the way through. Some unadulterated pleasure to share with you guys. It's been an absolute pleasure. If you've liked what you've had right now, pump some hearts before we go. Do share and tell others. I will see you around about the same time tomorrow night. Make sure you follow so you'll get an advanced notification that pops up on your thing, and it will show you that we're connected. It has been a pleasure. My goal, Sean Michael, aka Discovery, from the 3-second rule, Mysteries partner, okay, colleague partner. I saw that coming. My goal is to have 100,000 men find not the women of their lives, but the skill sets so that they can go out there, find, meet, attract, and keep the women of their dreams. And when it goes wrong, they can find and do it again. Okay, that is my goal. You guys help by sharing it. If you want to get good at the game, go help somebody else. It's an absolute pleasure sharing. Take care, take action. Just reading your comments. And by the way, if you guys are still on, do me a favor, I forgot to say to you, type one thing that you learned from tonight, one thing that you're going to take action on. That's all I ask. Tell me what you're going to take action on. Not whether you like the theory. What are you going to take action on? Please, everybody, just one thing. Because other people will learn from you. You help each other, guys. It's a great community to help each other. More reps. Nice, nice. More reps. Repetition. The mother of success. 3-second rule. Increase the number of sets. Absolutely. Approach at least 10 sets a day. Nice, nice, nice. A lot more. No excuses. Absolutely. You have the roots to grow and the wings to fly. Open more sets and don't burn myself out doing 7 hours. Fuck me. That's a marathon. That's a marathon. Good point though. Good observation. The ability to self-correct will allow you to grow. Guys, take care. Take action.